This might be an interesting video. Put up by Buzzera, Buzzera. Title, Erika Kirk to marry J.D. Vance. She says he's better than Charlie. I'm finding this hard to believe, but let's delve into it. Plays for 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Don't know much that I'm going to watch. Depends on what I hear, but you'll have the link.
Most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
So Erika Kirk just made her grand return to the spotlight, only 7 weeks after losing her husband, Charlie Kirk, at Utah Valley University. But what was supposed to be a heartfelt tribute at the University of Mississippi turned into straight-up chaos. All eyes were on Erika when a clip of her and U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance went viral, and not for the reasons you'd expect. Viewers were quick to notice that the comforting hug between them looked a bit too cozy, with Erika even running her fingers through JD's hair. Like, seriously? That's not exactly the behavior people expect from a grieving widow standing beside a married man. Now the internet's spinning wild theories, claiming JD Vance might actually be preparing to divorce his Hindu wife, using religion as the excuse, saying she refused to convert to Christianity. And get this, some fans believe he's already planning a political comeback with Erika as his future first lady. What a twist that would be. The drama doesn't stop there. Critics have been calling Erika out for how quickly she jumped back into her high-powered role as CEO of Turning Point USA, barely weeks after her husband's tragedy. People online are saying she's moving on a little too fast, acting more like a brand than a broken-hearted spouse. The backlash is wild, and everyone's got an opinion. It honestly shouldn't shock anyone that Erika Kirk slid right into her husband's old role. She's been standing beside him for years, preaching the same hardline ideas and sharing that same public devotion to faith.
He's not the master and you're the slave. That's not how marriage works. A lot of people forget to read the Bible verse after that where it says, husbands, love your wife like Christ loves the church. And that's where it's that healthy balance of I love submitting to Charlie because he's a phenomenal leader. And the way that he loves me, melts me to want to be able to help. How can I help you? I mean, every single morning I ask him and he asks me, how can I be praying for you? How can I make your day better? And I ask him at the end of that, what can I do so that when you come home at the end of the night, what do you need at home?
Marriage and traditional values. Ever since they tied the knot, she wasn't just the wife of Charlie Kirk. She was his shadow, his echo, his public mirror. Every rally, every post, every panel, you'd see Erika right there smiling for the cameras and backing up every word. But here's where things took a turn. During a January 2025 appearance on The Sage Steele Show, Erika openly described herself as the submissive partner in their marriage. Yeah, she said that proudly. Fans thought it was just her trying to sound loyal or spiritual. But no one expected that a few months later, she'd be standing in front of thousands, holding another man like that. See, the moment that flipped the whole internet upside down happened at a Turning Point USA event. An audience of nearly 10,000 students packed in, waiting to hear her speak about faith, courage, and finding strength after loss. She even said that when the team asked her dear friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, to join her on stage, she had to pray on it because of how emotional the day felt. Then she dropped a line that made everyone freeze. She said,
What do you want to eat? Obviously, okay, whatever. Some people are like, women on the kitchen, whatever. No, do I cook every night? No, but do I? Yeah, whatever. But, how can I help when you come home, how can we make the landing pad a little bit softer? So, it's just that, I don't know. And I love that he spoke out. I love that you're speaking out like it's special, that people are rising up and being like, you know what, life's short. This is the truth, and I'm going to speak it.
No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities with my husband and JD. Wait, what? People's jaws hit the floor, and just when everyone thought that was awkward enough, JD walked on stage, and the two of them shared what has now become the hug heard around the internet. Erika wrapped her arms around him, leaned in close, and gently ran her fingers through his hair, while cameras captured every second from multiple angles. That clip spread like wildfire. Now social media has been split into two camps. Some say it was just innocent comfort, others swear it was a spark of something much deeper. The debate's raging everywhere, from X to TikTok to YouTube. People are analyzing the footage frame by frame like it's courtroom evidence, asking, was this grief or was this chemistry? And here's the kicker. She spoke about with so much warmth and emotion that fans can't stop speculating there's history there. Whether it's past or future, that energy between them felt way too charged to be just friendship. Especially with those rumors floating around that JD might actually be planning to divorce his wife because she won't convert to Christianity. And guess what's making people talk even louder? That timing feels way too perfect to be a coincidence. Now here's where things get even more tangled. During that viral hug moment,
tell me about y'all's faith.
Now, I had never been baptized. Even though I was raised Christian, I'd never been baptized. So I was baptized the first time in 2018, I think. It's funny, Usha was not raised Christian. Is actually not Christian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I remember when I started to re-engage with my own faith, Usha was like very supportive.
Usha, why were you so supportive?
There are a few different reasons. One is that I did grow up in a religious household. My parents are Hindu, and
JD Vance's wife, Usha Chilukuri Vance, was actually there at the event. Yep, she was right there in the audience while all that went down. Later that same evening, JD tried to clear the air when someone asked about their interfaith marriage. He explained that he had converted to Catholicism, while Usha was raised Hindu, and then added that he wished she would someday convert too. His exact words were, "Most Sundays, Usha comes with me to church. Do I hope she someday moved by it? Yeah, I honestly do, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way." Now, that comment alone might sound innocent, but fans online took it as a major clue, because this wasn't the first time JD had publicly addressed the same topic, and it made people think that maybe, just maybe, there's more tension at home than he's letting on. So when that video of Erika stroking JD's hair hit the internet, it looked way too personal for comfort. People were like, wait, wasn't his wife literally sitting right there? The timing couldn't have been worse. But hold up, it doesn't stop there. The internet started digging even deeper, connecting dots that made everything look downright suspicious. Some viral posts began reviving a theory that Erika might actually know more about what happened to Charlie than she's admitting. Yeah, that's what people are saying. The theory claims Erika allegedly received a $350,000 transfer just weeks before Charlie's passing, and met with two unidentified individuals soon after. And get this, the company linked to that alleged payment supposedly vanished into thin air just 4 days after Charlie's tragic death. That's when social media went into full detective mode. Users started pulling up her old clips, her posts, even the speech she gave right after losing her husband. And a lot of people said her words felt off.
that was one of the things that made them such good parents, that make them really very good people. And so I think I've seen that, the power of that in my own life. And I knew that JD was searching for something. This just felt right for him.
How do y'all merge two different faiths while still raising your children?
There are a lot of things that we just agree on, I think, especially when it comes to family life, how to raise our kids. And so I think the answer really is we just talk a lot.
Too polished, too rehearsed, almost like a campaign pitch instead of raw grief. Then Candace Owens entered the chat. Of course she did. Candace started mocking Erika for doing photo shoots and smiling for cameras so soon after everything went down. And you know Erika wasn't about to stay quiet. She clapped back, saying there's no blueprint for grief. In her own words, she said, there is no linear blueprint for grief. One day you're collapsed on the floor crying out the name Jesus, and the next you're playing with your children in the living room, surrounded by family photos and feeling a rush of divinely planted joy as a smile breaks through on your face. It was emotional, sure, but not everyone bought it. Some thought her statement sounded more like PR damage control than true heartbreak. And now, that one viral hug has turned into a full-blown theory linking love, politics, and possible secrets no one's ready to admit. And just when people thought this story couldn't get any deeper, it did. Because now the whole internet is split between those defending Erika Kirk's actions and those who are absolutely convinced she's hiding something big. Every new clip, every new quote, every old post is being pulled apart like a crime scene. Let's start with the Turning Point crowd. the same organization Charlie Kirk built his entire legacy on.
Very much, and maybe this is a poor way of saying it, a straighter said, yes, I have a training. And I don't want to give too many identifying details here, but this person himself has a lot of experience with and knows and helps to train people in that sort of a capacity, and said that they observed that individual, the FBI saying that the dropped onto the roof at 12:15 didn't make sense to him. He said earliest it was 12:22.
A lot of people in that circle are uncomfortable right now. They say Erika's been acting like the face of faith and freedom while somehow dodging real questions about her husband's mysterious passing. One insider allegedly said that people at TPUSA have been walking on eggshells because no one knows whether to treat Erika like a grieving widow or a political figure in her own right. Behind closed doors, reports claim some staff members feel uneasy with how fast she rebranded herself. They say she's been holding strategy meetings, shooting new promo videos, and even talking about expanding Turning Point's family initiatives. But here's the part that really has folks side-eyeing. These meetings apparently included not just conservative influencers, but also J.D. Vance's aides. Yeah, people are whispering that the two have been collaborating behind the scenes for months. Now, fans on X and Reddit have been piecing together what they call the political grooming theory. It basically claims J.D. Vance is using Erika's clean-cut image and her following in the faith community to soften his own public reputation before the next election cycle. They point out that JD's been talking more about family revival, women of grace, and spiritual leadership, terms that sound straight out of Erika's playbook. And it's not just words. He's been appearing in her orbit a lot. Same conferences, same podcasts, even matching color palettes in their promotional shots. Coincidence? The internet doesn't think so. But here's where things really heat up, because while the political connection is one thing, the emotional one is what's driving all the chaos.
That the individual ran across, set up, took the and I said, well, you must have been there, because he then sends me I wanted to see all of the metadata of when he took that footage, and the metadata begins at 12:22 and goes into 12:23, the very minute that Charlie gets. And he says, yeah, I saw the I had just stopped recording about 20 seconds before the rang out.
People are saying the way Erika looks at JD, the tone in her voice, even how her body shifts when he's near. It's too familiar. Body language experts online have gone full detective mode, breaking down the hug frame by frame. One viral TikTok video with over 3 million views analyzed the angle of her hand resting in JD's hair. The creator claimed it wasn't just a comforting touch, it was a signal of affection. She explained, that's an intimate gesture. You don't run your hand through someone's hair in public unless there's emotional closeness or attraction. Another user slowed down the footage and noticed JD leaning into the hug rather than away from it. Suddenly, everyone started calling it the whisper moment because they swear you can see Erika saying something in his ear that made him smile. Meanwhile, JD's wife Usha hasn't said a single word publicly since the controversy exploded.
And he said that he told them a description of what it looked like, and it was not the description that the entire world received less than 24 hours later of this person, Tyler Robinson, wearing jeans. I said, was he wearing jeans?
In addition, Candace also perpetuated the idea that there's a...
And that silence is making things worse. People are commenting on her old interviews about faith, marriage, and cultural identity, saying she always seemed calm but distant when discussing JD's political life. Fans are now wondering if she's keeping quiet to protect her family or because she's genuinely heartbroken. Some even believe she's preparing for separation privately while keeping appearances up for political reasons. Then there's Candace Owens. Again, she's not letting this go. In her recent live stream, Candace claimed she had inside sources telling her JD and Erika have been in touch far more than the public knows. She said, something about this timing smells off. Erika's talking about divine purpose, JD's talking about legacy, and they're both suddenly everywhere together. Please. Fans flooded the comments saying Candace might be stirring the pot, but others said she's just saying what everyone else is thinking. But Erika's side isn't staying quiet either. Her supporters argue that she's simply staying strong, honoring her husband's work, and finding comfort in her faith circle, which happens to include JD. They say people are reading way too much into a hug and ignoring the fact that she's juggling grief, motherhood, and leadership all at once. Some of her loyal fans have even started using the hashtag #Let Erika Heal, demanding that people stop tearing her apart online. Still, every time she posts something new, the drama flares up again. When she uploaded a photo of her and JD standing side by side during a TPUSA fundraiser, the comments section turned into a battlefield. One user wrote, "Girl, why are you always next to someone else's husband?" While another fired back, "She's doing God's work. Keep your gossip to yourself." It's chaos, pure and simple. Meanwhile, new financial rumors keep bubbling up. Some independent investigators online claim they've been tracking a paper trail linked to the alleged $350,000 transfer, and what they're finding looks murky. A YouTuber who's been covering the Kirk saga since day one said he found documents suggesting that a consulting firm registered under a shell company was paid just days before Charlie's passing. The connection hasn't been proven, but the timing looks suspicious. And if that's not enough, that same YouTuber claimed JD's campaign donations spiked right after the same week those alleged payments were made. Coincidence again? People aren't buying it. Another layer that keeps resurfacing is the emotional timeline. When you look at Erika's public posts after Charlie's death, there's a very sharp shift in tone. At first, she was sharing Bible verses and talking about rest and reflection, but within 3 weeks, she was posting motivational captions about rebirth, rebuilding, and divine assignments. It's that rapid transformation that made people question whether she was mourning or marketing. Some even compared her behavior to rebranding through tragedy. Brutal, but that's what's being said online. And let's not forget the old footage that resurfaced recently. Clips of Erika and JD appearing on faith-based panels years ago, before any of this drama. In one of them, JD praises Erika for being a woman of conviction, while she smiles and says, "JD reminds me a lot of my husband." That clip aged like dynamite. Fans are replaying it with captions like, "She's been saying it for years." All this speculation has created a ripple effect in the conservative world. Some party donors reportedly want JD to distance himself from Erika until the noise dies down, while others are calling it a smear campaign designed to weaken the base. Either way, the optics are terrible, and yet Erika seems unbothered. Just days ago, she posted a photo in her cream-toned studio, the same one where she films her live streams, captioned, "Peace cannot be stolen when your heart is anchored in truth." Fans thought it was cryptic. Critics said it was arrogant, but everyone agreed. It felt like she was responding to the rumors without saying a word. So now the question hanging over everything is this. Is Erika Kirk simply trying to move forward while the world won't let her heal? Or is she quietly orchestrating her next big move, both personally and politically? Because if there's one thing everyone agrees on, it's that this story isn't slowing down anytime soon. Every new headline, every leaked clip, every vague quote from a source close to the family just keeps the fire burning hotter. And let's be real, Erika's not backing down. Whether she's innocent, misunderstood, or playing the game better than anyone else, she knows exactly what people are saying, and she's making sure they keep talking. They say time heals, Erika said softly, her voice trembling just enough to sound rehearsed yet heartfelt. But love doesn't ask to be healed. Love asks to be remembered. She paused dramatically, looking straight into the crowd. It's humbling to realize that this kind of suffering didn't steal my love for my husband. It amplified it. It crystallized it. The audience clapped, but not everyone was moved. Some said her speech sounded more like performance than pain. And that's exactly when Candace Owens struck again. Candace didn't just throw shade this time. She implied Erika may have known way more about what went down behind the scenes than she's letting on. She went full investigator mode, posting what she claimed were leaked text messages and screenshots allegedly from people close to Charlie Kirk himself. Candace said the messages revealed major tension between Charlie and his biggest donors, especially after his controversial comments about Israel. According to those screenshots, Charlie supposedly told someone that one Jewish donor had pulled a $2 million contribution after he refused to disinvite Tucker from his America Fest event. In the alleged texts, he wrote something like, "They want me to drop Tucker. I won't do it. I'd rather lose the money than my principles." And boom, next thing you know, that supposed donor backed out, and Candace claimed this fallout set off a chain reaction that changed everything. But she didn't stop there. Candace accused federal investigators of not being transparent about what really happened, calling their official reports selective, and hinting that parts of the narrative might have been staged to protect powerful interests. She basically said the public's been fed a controlled story, and that the truth was being buried under politics and money. Then came the wildest twist of all. Candace doubled down on her belief that there's a federal cover-up in motion. She's been saying that a man named Tyler Robinson, the alleged suspect in Charlie's case, was actually framed by the feds. In her words, the entire thing was manufactured by the administration to protect bigger names. She even said the claim that Tyler wanted to end his own life was made up to shut him down before he could talk. Now, that theory shook people hard, because if Candace's claims are even partly true, it means the whole story the public was told might be upside down. And with Erika at the center of all this, pretending to stay calm and holy, it's no wonder people think she's playing a much bigger game than anyone realized. Candace didn't hold back a bit. She dug straight into what she called holes in the official story, pointing fingers at every inconsistency she could find, starting with Tyler Robinson's supposed confession, or lack of one. Candace asked, if he was ready to turn himself in, why didn't he confess? She also questioned how the weapon allegedly used belonged to Tyler when, according to his own father, the man wasn't even a firearm enthusiast. Then she pointed out something that made everyone pause. Tyler apparently didn't even use the same kind of language the investigators quoted in their report. In her words, he doesn't talk like that. Tyler doesn't say vehicle. He says car. That tiny detail had fans spiraling, saying it sounds like someone else wrote those texts entirely. And that wasn't all. Candace claimed Tyler's own father doesn't believe his son was capable of doing what he's accused of. She even called out the FBI, saying it was suspicious that Connecticut agents were the ones sent to handle a Utah case. Why fly a whole team across the country when local agents were available? None of it made sense. Candace also brought up another uncomfortable truth, that every witness who reportedly saw Tyler being arrested just so happens to have some kind of connection to law enforcement. Every single one. That's what she said. She even alleged that a source told her Tyler never stepped foot on Utah Valley University's campus that day. If that's true, it completely changes everything we thought we knew. But the weirdest part, she said investigators are refusing to reveal who actually helped them locate Tyler in the first place. If that person is a public figure, why hide their name? Why the secrecy? It's questions like these that make people believe there's more to the story than what's on paper. And in true Candace fashion, she threw one last curveball. If Erika Kirk's as innocent as she says she is, why does it feel like she always knows what's next before anyone else does? That statement alone set off a firestorm. Because honestly, whether people agree with Candace or not, she's saying out loud what a lot of folks have been whispering for months. Then Erika made things even messier. During a Fox News interview with Jesse Waters, she said that media access should not be restricted during Tyler Robinson's trial. She argued that cameras have covered every phase of this tragedy, from the day of the shooting to her public speeches, so why stop now? She said transparency matters, but the internet didn't buy it. To some, it sounded like she was trying to keep the spotlight on herself. Not the case. Critics say she's turning the trial into her own kind of faith-based production, where grief meets PR strategy. Others think she's just too comfortable with the attention, too polished, too public for someone still mourning. Meanwhile, fans of the case are divided. Some agree with her, saying cameras in the courtroom could protect everyone from government manipulation and hidden agendas. But others believe she's trying to turn the trial into a way to keep her name trending, maybe even profit off the public's obsession. And that brings us back to the messiest part of it all, the hug heard around the world. People can't stop replaying it, arguing over whether it meant anything or not. Some say she's just naturally affectionate, the kind of person who hugs everyone that way. But others swear there was something electric in that moment between her and J.D. Vance, something that can't be explained away by grief or friendship. So now everyone's asking, do you think there's something really going on between J.D. and Erika? Could he actually divorce his wife over religion and maybe, just maybe, end up with Erika in the future? And
I think there's a real good chance of that. I'll attach the link. Look at it, pass it along, and thanks for listening.